Alright guys, so time to build our ramp for the Outcast. We're pretty much going to do a scrap wood build with some 2x4s and a sheet of plywood. Best thing to do is get really thin, as thin as possible. I've left it out for a couple days so it's got a natural curve to it. It'll make it easier when we make the transitions. So what we decided to do, I wanted a 2-foot tall ramp, so this edge is 2 foot. And that's what we're going to cut off, and then that will we'll have a 6x4 section for transition, so we can have a 6-foot wide ramp, which would be pretty nice. Now it doesn't mean I'm going to make the frame full 6 foot. I might just leave the extra and overhangs. Depends on what kind of materials I got. We kind of go as we go. So from my skateboard days, what we would do is once we know our height, I want to go in a 2x4 width for a brace there, so I just go 4 inches to keep it even though it's like 3.5. And then, knowing I have a 4 foot transition, if you use some geometry and measure for this edge to this edge, I left it at 36 inches to give me an extra foot either way, so I can go off the top a little or I can go off the bottom a little. And make sure that whatever my bend for the extra, it'll be okay. So now you can leave these ramps straight. What I'll do is I'll cut straights first, because it's always easier to cut your transition with a small piece than a big piece, and then we'll see where it goes. So first step will be cutting that long line there, and then cutting these straight edges out, and then we'll figure out our curve. Now there's a couple ways of thought on that. You can eyeball one and then make the other match, or you can use a string and a pen, kind of like the masons would do. Like people don't get that real masonry or carpentry, you don't need a tape measure. You use a length or an arm length, like they use cubits. That's how they would measure. So you use a stick, and that's your reference point. You can do percentage of that stick and get away without having to even, like, I'll just probably use that white or that blue string over there for the transition and figure it out. So anyways, I'll show you that when we get to that. Let me get these pieces cut. And I am going total scrap style, so I might be screwing some of these together to make our cross braces, but it's really cheap. Like, this piece of plywood's like 20 bucks, and then I had some scrap 2x4s laying around that are a couple bucks a piece if you had to buy them. But when we're done, we're going to have a nice Arrma or any bash or kind of little transition ramp. And then once we build this one, we'll build another, and the point is to have it out front in the front yard for doing some flips and some fun, or maybe the back in the fence, who knows, we'll see. But I'll be back in a minute. We'll get some cuts cut and all that good jazz. Some reason the video ain't stopping. All right, so what we did here is I wanted to figure out my best transition. I wanted between 25 and a 30-degree angle coming off the top. So what you do is this: if you have a framing square, these are godsends. You can do everything from angles to straight cuts, all that stuff. So take your pivot point here. You'll see a lot of them will show it on there. That's your pivot point. And what I did was, once you get it right, you'll see I marked off 30-degree angle, and then I used that as my pivot point, and I marked off the next 30-degree angle. And then once I got to here, because that's about, a decent foot or so, I went to 15-degree angles, and then I hand drew the rest. You can use a string, but it's hard with a shorter ramp. What you would do is have a transition set, because I wanted to kick on the top, so it's not going to be the same transition the whole way. So I had to do it this way. But you could get away with a single transition with, say, its end point is a 4-foot tall transition with a string. Anyways, probably too much baloney. But so from there, I just hand drew the rest of this, and what I'll do is I'll cut that one and I'll use it as a template for the other. Pretty easy. Probably use a Sawzall, or I don't know, my scroll saw is busted, or I'm missing blades or something, so use what I got. You know, I got that guy over there. I think there's a bandsaw floating around too. So anyways, I'll be right back. So now that we got the first one cut, we use it as a template for the other one, and we'll get it cut again. And then we start putting it all together. Pretty easy. All right, those are done. Now looking at what we got, I don't really want to use much more than this. That one's 4 foot, so we're going to make the gap 4 foot and then figure out what we need to cut off. If we cut anything off for transition, probably just put it in the center. So we'll cut up 4 foot cross braces, so we'll need at least 3 or 4, so I might as well cut up one of them, and then we'll see where 3 sets us. Might as well cut them both up. We'll see where 4 goes. All right, I'll be right back. All right, so after cutting our extra braces, this is kind of where I start. Your front end, I'll just get it at the end as close as possible. That'd be perfect. And I'll put an extra one closer towards the bottom, because that's where your pressure is when you're coming in. Once it's already got to change its directory, it's not as bad. But on the top, you'll see I just tacked it there and then put these braces, some scraps I had as side braces, and then one on the bottom. Now it's not a bad idea to reinforce the backs like on the sides. So I got one board left, and I'll find a couple scraps. So a lot of that board will get two more braces. And this is 4 foot wide. We got a 6 foot piece to work with. What I'll be doing is wetting that down in a minute, getting it ready. So I'll get that last piece cut, and we'll see what the braces look like. I might need one more. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. But this is cheap, you know, $30 ramp, 1 sheet of plywood and some scraps. Anyways, I'll be right back. Hopefully you're digging. Hopefully you're learning something. So that's that. What I did was I did 5 inches off the base on there. The length isn't exactly perfect. It doesn't have to be. Just want a little more pressure down and lower here. And then I just put what I had, split the difference. Now this guy, I was a little short on being the right length. I must have not been a 4 footer or an 8 footer. It must have been a room width. So I cut a little hunk and made it work. You know, you do what you gotta do. But that way I'm not using any more wood. So I'm gonna wet this thing down, get the hose out, and I'll come back in an hour or so, and we'll see if it's how she does. You'll get the idea. Actually, I might be able to do it the way it is. Hold on a minute. That'd be pretty cool. Give it a whack. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. So you want to get your top square where it can be. And then before you tack that first one, I want to see what your curve's going to look like. Oh yeah, it'll be alright. This thing's going to be great. Again, that's my intention. So I'm going to go up, use a marker. I'll tack it. I'm using just drywall screws because I'm cheap. They're not going to hold up long term, but I'm not sure this ramp will either, so I'll see where it goes. So I'll tack this corner as close to it as possible. And what a mark the top. Hopefully I'm catching this on the video. And squish. Bars somewhere here. that first transition, go every foot or so. I want to put as much weight as possible on there. See how that draws it in nice? Now, if this surface gets bad, you can always get some masonite. That's what we did with skateboard ramps. You get an 1/8 inch or 16th inch masonite, put a top coat on it, for structure. But we're not doing skateboard wheels, so it should be a little less of an issue. And once after lunch today, what I'll do is I'll get the Arrma out. At the end of this video, we'll do our first run with the Arrma. I've never hit a jump with it yet, other than dirt. So it'll be new for me. I think that's a good curve. Not at all. We got us a skateboard ramp / Arrma basher. So hopefully it's still recording. See how it pulls into the curve. We got extra on either side, so, and it's nice and wide, so we can bash just about anything on it. I'm gonna get it put in the yard. Then when I come back, we'll get the Arrma out and we'll let her go. There we go. Not bad. Not bad at all. Now, if this one works, oh, my camera go out. Anyways, so if this works good, what I'm gonna do is put another ramp this way. So back and forth. Anyways, be back in a minute. Gonna go make some lunch and then we'll get the Arrma out. Alright guys, it's time to get this out. Gonna get this guy running and we're gonna test out our new ramp. Using these CNHL batteries. Take some glamour shots for Instagram. She's looking good. We've spent some time on this girl. Look how clean it is. These batteries should all be charged up. With any luck, it'll be just a lickety split. I'll get it set up. Now this is gonna be the first time we've hit the jump, so not just, you know, not just first time hitting the jump, but first time I've taken this car off of any real jumps. I mean, we've done some messing around at the park, but that ain't quite the same. And this will be our first real run after all of our rebuilds, so this will be the first
after the rebuild series. If you haven't seen that, check it out. I'd like to thank our sponsors, CNHL and Winter's Evening Bearings. We got some brand new bearings in this, and we spent quite a bit of time cleaning it up. And we're using our Dumbo. I like the Dumbo. And I'll probably cut some of this out. Hopefully I don't break nothing. I told Lauren come out and run it a little later. She's in the middle of doing something. With any luck, we'll have a decent bash session. Let's take some nice glamour shots before we break it. You guys see behind the scenes what I do, how I do it. To it. We got 2 sets of batteries fully charged. Come on, camera. We're going to use our FPV. Now this has got a stock Spectrum system in it, and these batteries are 900mAh 120Cs. We're not going to use the phone. What's going on here? Looks like we're good now. Looks like we're good now. Like I said, I'm a noob at this, so try not to judge too much. This will be my first and first. I wonder if it's the batteries in the controller that are dying. I don't know when those were replaced. This has just got a standard Dumbo receiver, no gyro or nothing like that. I don't think you use them on the bashers. Could be wrong though. Oh! You guys see that? That's pretty much nuts. Camera came right off. That's cool. We're gonna have to check that out later. Came right out. Hey, it didn't break though. That's cool. We'll turn that off. Maybe we'll get some good shots. Ooh, nice! Not bad for my first couple jumps. Ooh, that was a little rough. That was not good. Did I break it already? Oh, look at that, guys. Well, we got to see a couple quick ones. That's actually not a bad fix. I don't think it's really broken. It's a little bent maybe. Not a big deal, but that thing froze it. Did you guys see that? Well, that'll be a quick compilation at the end. Get people, yeah, whatever. Let's take a look at it. That's insane, guys. That's insane. This thing's gonna be nuts. So yeah, just the front dog bone came out. Doesn't look like anything else happened to it. Something might not be right. But yeah, I'm not gonna break it anymore. I'll get that pot back in and we'll get it back out.